Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Welcome to CryptoTraders Room. And if you're a new-time viewer, welcome. And don't forget to click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video is uploaded. And stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. Let's see who we got in the room today. Andreas, welcome. TJ, welcome, guys. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. But yeah, let's see what's going on today. Couple of things, Ethereum, Ether's up. What else? Dash, Zcash. I mean, those had really made a move. And it was weird, looking at the chart, it was basically Dash started to move, and then Zcash all of a sudden made a crazy move. And Monero breaking, close to $100 today, $99. So that's some impressive movement. If you guys were able to capitalize on that or had a position and you're holding, that's a perfect opportunity to capitalize and taking some profit off the table, at least close to that $99, $98, above $90 would have been great. So, of course, it's going to have a little bit of a pullback, when they run up like that, like crazy. Almost 100% run up from $52 to $98. That's pretty crazy. That is a crazy run. But yeah, let's take a look at Ether, because Ether is definitely, starting to make a move, and hopefully this is a move that is going to be sustained, and it's a move that, it's going to find that support, that happy support, happy medium, to where it's going to be above, either, the bullish, the very bullish, or the extremely bullish trend lines that I've kind of drew out a couple days ago. So it is really maintaining right above that, above bullish resistance right now. So it's forming that resistance, or broke through that resistance, and hopefully it forms that as a new support. Maybe enlarge this a little bit. And as long as it can form it as a new support, this will have even a bigger of a run, in my opinion. But it has to maintain that level of move that it's made, and it's made a really nice, nice move from that $130 all the way to 330 today. But yeah, this is a move that we've been kind of waiting for, where it was just basically, teeter-tottering, within a certain resistance and support line. And once it breaks that and it forms as a new resistance, it's going to be healthy. It's a healthy move for it. It's a move that we should have, it should have done a while ago. It was kind of lagging in comparison to some of the other cryptocurrencies that were moving. So hopefully this is something bullish, something that's going to be sustained. And, we'll see what it does. But it's got key levels that it has to break. It's got to get above certain levels. So it got above our first level, and that level was right around the 320. It needed to break that 320. That 320 was a resistance for it. And, from the looks of the candlesticks, and we're looking at, let's see, what is this, 3 hours? 3-hour candlesticks, basically. And it basically came out of it with a nice vengeance. So we'll see if it maintains that hold. And as long as it maintains that hold, it'll move sideways for a little bit and hopefully break out above that 365. If she can break 365, 400 should be in sight, especially with FOMO kicking in, late people coming into the party, didn't get in when it was pretty low, under 250, and now they might be getting in. So that could definitely send it a lot higher. And I think, we kind of saw that with Monero, going from $52 to a matter of, let's just take a look at those candlesticks real quick. But yeah, on a 3-hour candlestick, this is just way too parabolic. It's way too crazy of a move. And I would not want to see this type of move with Ether. As much as I would like to see it have a nice sustained run, this is too fast. It's too quick. Unless I was looking to get out of that trade, yeah, this is a great move. But I'm not looking to get out of that trade. I'm looking for something long-term, something that's going to, sustain a nice upward move. But yeah, this is too fast, way too quick. And when they go up that fast, they're only going to retrace back and give back a good amount of the gains that they had. Going from $52 all the way up to $99, within a matter of 6 hours, that's just way too big of a move. So, we'll see what she does going forward. But, she is going to have retracements, and hopefully that retracement won't be, breaking key levels. She's got at least stay above the 70, between the 70 and the 60. If she breaks down all the way, then it was a pump. They pumped it and dumped it. But yeah, that's just too big of a move, in my opinion. Let me get to some of these comments, see who else we got in the room today. SkyTech, good morning. Crazy F is exactly right, man. Crazy F. I like the move. It's not parabolic. It's not crazy. It's not something that's unrealistic. I think this is a gradual move, even though it's at $41. It needed to do that, and it needs to sustain this $334 or 330. I think it's that's currently what it's at on GDAX, 333 on GDAX. So it needs to maintain that move. It needs to sustain it, and as long as it can sustain that move, then we'll have a bigger push. So hopefully, with not far away from the summer really ending, hopefully this is the move going into the winter, where traders are going to be heavily supporting this thing and having this thing really move up to where it really belongs. And that's currently right now, I would say $500. End of the year at 1,000. There's no reason that it's not, above $500 already. Made 10% today. 10% is good. As long as you're happy with those profits, that's awesome. Strong hands are getting carpal tunnel. Daniel, welcome. Norman, welcome, guys. Stefan, the Warple, Ivan, East Chan. Greeting from Hong Kong. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. All right, let me see if you guys have any good questions. Let's see, Andreas. You're basically long-term 12% right now, which is pretty good. In the cryptocurrency market, though, a lot of people probably will not think that's good. To me, that's good. I mean, if you can sustain a 12% return and continuously do that over time, you can definitely grow that account. Throw a little more if it gets to 3,310. So I'm assuming you're talking about possibly Dash or Ether. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to get to $300. I think it's going to sustain, in my opinion, and these are only my personal opinions, but I think it's going to sustain that prior resistance as a new support. And as long as it holds it, it'll maintain that. But if it doesn't, then yes, you could be right. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to put in that low ball offer. Almost bought Monero yesterday, man. That would have been a great play. That really would have been a great play. I mean, even with Dash or even with Zcash, I mean, those are definitely, some of the biggest movers, especially from Bitfinex. Do I see any movements with LTC? Man, LTC has been kind of a disappointment, but it's been a solid play if anybody's in it. But yeah, it should definitely be a lot higher. It should, and it could. It definitely could. I mean, it could have, the Monero type of run. It could easily do that. That's going to be too fast, too quick, unless you're looking to get out. But it definitely needs that type of run. But yes, it's been kind of stagnant in this range. If going down to 41 and going up to 48, 49, 47, pulling back down a little bit. But yeah, it's a solid play. But you're not going to see these big gainers that people are seeing from Monero and some of the other cryptocurrencies. What is my ETH price point from the crash? 2. I'm sorry, 2. Yeah, I wish it was 2. 318, I think it was 317 and change, 317.82, something to that extent. We'll just say 318. So yes, currently right now I am in the profit from that. It's been, I think, 2 months, exactly 2 months since that flash crash. So this has been a very long-term hold for me. And I think I will continue this long-term hold unless I really need that money for something. And then I'll be gradually taking profits along the way. Any views on Neo? Let's take a look at Neo. I've been kind of busy this past weekend and really have not looked at too many cryptocurrencies, but I don't know what Neo's doing. I'm sure it had some sort of a pullback. Ivan, what do I think about Ripple? I don't know, man. I don't know about Ripple. I'm sure some of the guys on the live stream can tell you about Ripple. Unless you're really looking to hold it long term. And really, you got to remember, too, you're not investing in Ripple. You're buying XRP, the coin. And, and I've said it before, unless Ripple can force banks to use XRP for their transactions, really, that's the only way XRP is going to succeed and it's going to do well. Is banks have to utilize it. And I don't think banks really care about utilizing XRP. They want the Ripple technology, but I don't think they want anything with XRP. 856,000 Satoshis. Wow, this did come down. Well, I mean, not came down a lot, but it came down. 836,000 Satoshis was the low that it had actually set. Yeah, I don't know. This could have, more of a downtrend. And I think I need to go back and do that side by side comparison again with PIVX and see if those charts are aligning. And I think I did that about a week ago, where I did that side by side comparison of what the charts are looking like. But yeah, this could be following the same path as PIVX. Now it's not PIVX, of course. It's Neo. There's a lot more things going on with Neo than there are with PIVX, especially with their blockchain. But it could retrace. It could have a bigger retracement, and that retracement could look to be, somewhere in the 675,000 Satoshis, something to that extent. But yeah, you guys got to remember, nothing's going to keep going up and up and up. It's going to have a retracement. It's going to have a pullback. And as long as you're patient and interested in getting in that trade, you just got to be patient for it, or be patient with it and wait for it to come to you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would look at it at 675. If it starts cracking those levels, and see exactly where it might head from there. But yeah, I'm still not interested in Neo. It went up to what, $46, $47, something to that extent. And this is profit taking. It's going to happen. Unless you're in this long term, I wouldn't worry about this. But if you were in it for the short term, just to make a couple bucks here and there, yeah, it's a perfect opportunity. Especially if it has a nice run up from that 750,000 Satoshis. That seems to be the resist or the support for it currently right now at the moment. When to invest in Chaincoin? Probably never. Never. I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't throw my money at it. Everybody's different. I'm not telling you not to put your money into it, but I personally wouldn't. But let's get a little granular on this chart here. And it looks like buyers are stacking up. 1,500 versus 600. 1,500 on the buying side, 600 on the selling side. I mean, we could see a nicer move. And I don't know, was there any news that was out about ETH or Ethereum this past weekend? Because I mean, we have not really seen this type of move in a very long time. And when I say long time, I mean, in the cryptocurrency market, long time isn't really too long, but it seems like it's forever. But yeah, it's got to sustain that 319. It cannot fall below that 319. And that 319 was the yellow lines that I put out that, as long as she can break out above it and maintain that, then yeah, she's good. She's good for another run, to break past that 350-ish possibly. TJ, thank you, man. Yeah, it took a while, but I'm still in that trade. So, still unrealized profit, even though it's a little bit of a profit. But yeah, breaking even feels good, after holding it for 2 months. 2 months felt like 2 years. Stefan, yes. Yeah. It's not like the stock market. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. The stock market is completely different in the way you would approach trades. Unless it's a company that you firmly believe in, and it's a company that has the foundation. And I'm talking about, the big boy stocks, the Apples, the Netflix, the Googles and things like that. Unless you're holding those and you're just trading other stocks, they're hit or miss. They can rise and then they can drop and never come back. With this cryptocurrency market, though, it's, over the past couple months, I've just seen what they're able to do, especially if you're holding, some of these cryptocurrencies that have the foundation, that are not going to really, kind of go out of existence in several years, that are building the foundations for other tokens and really be built on them. Yeah, they can drop. They can drop on a dime and then come right back up. I mean, BTC has shown us numerous times. BCH, I bought it at 200 and sold it at 3. I mean, I didn't know it would go up to $975. I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, currently right now, my mentality is changing to where, some of these popular coins, some of these, coins that have the foundation, to hold them long term, because in the long term, they are going to pay off. But I'm still holding fiat. Darkness, thank you so much for that comment, man. I appreciate it. And you know, welcome. And welcome to anybody new that's coming onto this live stream. I do appreciate having you here. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. And don't be shy. Say what's up. So let's see, you know, SAN, 39 cents, 39 and a half cents. Of course, you guys know that I got out of that trade at 31 cents due to, you know, Bitfinex basically barring trading on SAN as well as EOS as of September, or I'm sorry, as of August 16th. But it looks like, you know, I can still buy it, you know, which I'm a little upset about that because I would have still held on to SAN and not sold at 31 cents. But, you know, Bitfinex, you know, by putting out that announcement caused the price to really dip, and it dipped to 28 cents. And to be honest with you, I wasn't willing to hold it as it was dipping to 28 cents. You know, profit's a profit. I was happy with it. But, you know, my goal was to basically, you know, hold on to it. And yeah, it's at, you know, almost 40 cents now. So they, you know, that announcement that came out basically shook me out of that trade. It really did. It shook a lot of people out of that trade, you know, and that's why the price dropped. But I was looking into getting to Iota, and let's go ahead and take a look at Iota. And last Friday, I had a buy and order for 90 cents. Of course, I didn't get into that trade. I wasn't able to sit here and watch it, and it would have executed at 90 cents. But, you know, I wanted to watch it in case it did fall further and to be able to add more onto that position. And I would have probably added to that position at 80 cents to lower my cost average down to 85 cents. But since I wasn't able to sit there and watch it, I basically put in a low ball offer. I put in two offers at 75 cents and 70 cents. And of course, it didn't hit that 75 cents. It got close to 75 cents, 76, what was it, 76.10? 76.42. 76.1 is basically what it got down to. So if it would have hit that 75 cents, you know, I would have had an entry. And then if it would have dipped further to 70 cents, I would have had another entry. But of course, that didn't pan out too well. But I couldn't walk away from an entry at 90 cents and not be able to manage that trade. And when I mean managed, in the sense of not getting out of that trade if it does dip, but adding more onto it to lower my cost average. And that was really the plan of what I was looking to do. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So, you know, I'm glad I didn't leave that order in the book and you know, go out to do the things that I needed to get done for that day. Because, yeah, I would have come back to it being at 76 cents. Vitalik is meeting with central bank in Thailand, so that's the reason for the move for it. So hopefully it's a good meeting. Hopefully it's a good meeting. F definitely needs some good news to come out of it. It definitely does, but not too much good news. You know, if this thing goes parabolic, I am going to get out of my trade. I don't think I'm going to sit there and hold it. You know, if it goes up to, let's just say $450 and then have it drop right back down to 375. You know, I would rather cash out at that, you know, 425, 450, and then buy it back by the same amount at a cheaper price. So if this thing does go parabolic, then yes, I will be looking to getting out of that position and look to add a little more as it dips. So how is Ripple price calculated? Basically, I mean, you know, it's traders, it's investors, you know, that kind of dictate what the price is, to be honest with you. You know, it's a fight between the bears and the bulls. But yeah, banks are not utilizing XRP. So unless that can happen, that's really the only way that I see, you know, Ripple doing something good. And that's why it's crashing. That's why it's 15 cents, you know, going from whatever it was, 42 cents. You know, not having really a good sustained move to the upside. It's just been slowly but surely grinding down, and you know, little fake outs here and there. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Ripple, or really, I'm not a fan of XRP. I shouldn't say Ripple. XRP, I'm not a fan of it, and I don't think I would buy it unless it really heavily tanked. Let's just say hypothetically tanks 50% from here. I would buy it just for a little bump up to the upside, just to be able to cash out. At point of stake is coming. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it needs good news. It needs good positive news. But this is good that it hasn't really corrected back down below that 320. You know, this is looking very, very positive. And when it really made a nice run up, you know, with this candlestick here breaking above that 320, Yeah, it did break down below it a little bit, but it still maintained, that move. It still consolidated sideways before having another run up, and that's a possibility. It could do it again. It's consolidating. It could have another push up to that 360 possibly. Don't get stuck in a shit coin. Yeah, dude. TJ, you're absolutely right, dude. Yeah, I mean, stick to the core. I mean, especially if you're new. If you're not, heavily trading every single day, and you just want, a good investment. And I've said it before, as a new person coming onto this market, become an investor in the core coins that you believe in, and the ones that have the foundation to succeed. A lot of these coins don't have the foundation to succeed. There's great money to be made in them as long as you can catch the bottom and get out of the top, or get out somewhere close to the top. But yeah, you can't hold them for years and years and years. Like you can with Bitcoin and Ethereum, possibly BCH. F Metropolis coming. I hope so. Oni, welcome, buddy. Great to see you on this, man. And I'm glad you're recovering. But yeah, so it's got a lot of good news that's possibly going to be happening. So I see it maintaining a certain level and staying within that level if it doesn't completely just break out. Bossless, expectation for Ethereum. Expectation for ETH is that I think, this could be the move that we've all been waiting for, and that, it was, I'm sure it was upsetting a lot of people, that were in this position, that, it just wasn't moving much at all. Especially, if we look at, this time frame here, going back from July 18th, all the way up to basically August 5th, August possibly 6th. I mean, it wasn't pretty at all. It was not pretty. I mean, it retested a couple key levels. It retested that 180, came right back up, and maintained, right above that, below the bullish support level, which was a support level right here. It maintained it, which was good. But yeah, I mean, for a period of time, it wasn't doing much. And a lot of people, I'm sure, got discouraged with it and maybe sold, or a lot of people maybe added on to their position. But this is the type of move that I think we have been waiting for. So anybody that's still holding this position, congrats, because I mean, I call that strong hands. I really do. Yeah, I mean, the trajectory path is still looking pretty good. It really is. And I don't think it's going to break down anytime now, especially with the good news that's going to be coming out. But yeah, my expectation, and I still stand with that end of year target. End of year target at $1,000 is attainable. I don't see why it's not. I really don't. I mean, if this thing has, a 50% day, 100% day, it's pulling a BCH and pulling a Monero type of move, this thing can and will, over time, make those type of moves. It's just a matter of the news that's coming out. And, as long as they can hype it, and it's not FUD that's being spread, it can have a great move, and it will. It's just a matter of being patient and waiting for it. Oh man, that's a good question, East Chan. How do you see if there's a financial crisis like 2008 again? Touch wood, yeah. In the real economics, how would it affect the cryptocurrency market? What I'm hoping is that people will start moving over to cryptocurrency. When the stock market is tanking, having a repeat of 2008, and I think we're getting very close. I mean, the market, the stock market is completely, overbought. All it needs is just something crazy to happen, a war to break out, North Korea to, launch a missile. I mean, anything, could send the stock market tanking. And I'm hoping that people, that are going to be pulling their money out, they're well aware of, the cryptocurrency market, and hopefully that money kind of, filters over to the market that we're in. And that could really send everything skyrocketing. And if it does, I mean, where do you think people are going to be putting their money into? Hopefully, Bitcoin, BCH, Ethereum Classic, Dash, Monero, Litecoin. But yeah, only time will tell, when this financial crisis is going to happen, and when, the whole thing is going to come collapsing. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And that's the only people that know are the, people that are holding a lot and, looking to dump, and that they can move the market. When do you get OMG for holding F? I don't think they set a date yet, to be honest with you. If you guys know, let me know. I haven't really been researching anything this past weekend. But yeah, I remember reading about that a while ago, maybe a week and a half ago. But they hadn't really determined a date yet, unless something new has come out. List is doing a rebrand. That's always kind of good. That's going to help pump the stock up. Well, not stock, but the crypto up. Anytime they do any type of rebrand, people are going to buy the rumor and sell the news, possibly. Yeah, let me take a look at list, because since a good amount of you guys are mentioning it. Down 17% today, though. That's not good. So people are not buying this rumor. They are not buying the rumor. Or this was the rumor here when they bought it on the 18th, possibly. Sent it up from 47,000 Satoshis all the way to 100,000 Satoshis within a matter of 2 days, basically. And now are they selling the news? They already bought the rumor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like this drop here. That's a massive drop. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on this to see if it actually gets down to 50,000 Satoshis or close to it. But yeah, down 17% today, so that's not good. Feds are in control. Yeah, dude. I think they've been in control. They definitely have. Yeah, Dubai review. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's just not South Korea. I mean, it's just South Korea, Japan, China. All those Asian countries are going to be piling tons of money into it and causing these cryptocurrencies to really take a run. Let's take a look at BCH. I don't know if any of you guys were in this. I mean, this is just a crazy move. Crazy. And thinking that I bought this at 200 and sold it at 3. Yeah, that 265 was good. But then, when it had a nice run up and decided to kind of consolidate sideways, it maintained that 280 level. That 280 was definitely a key level for it to maintain. And if anybody took advantage of this, I hope nobody bought it at the top. I hope none of you guys bought this at the top. I mean, if you weren't willing to buy it at 290, $300, there's no reason to be buying this in the 7, 8, 900, unless you bought it at 7 and sold it at 9 or sold it at 8, got out with a profit and, didn't stay in this trade because it's correcting. Yeah, I mean, that's just way too massive of a move within a very short period of time, going from basically $300, a little less than $300 to 972. That's insane. Is BCH going to bounce? I don't know, man. I don't know. This doesn't look good for it to have a nice bounce. I mean, it doesn't even indicate to me that, it's starting to turn around. I mean, this is just on a 3-hour chart. This looks like a nosedive, basically. I don't know if it's ready to give late buyers another middle finger like it did in the past, but that's a possibility. I mean, it could correct back down. And let's see if it's. I mean, it broke out. I mean, it broke every key resistance level, and it broke it out viciously. I mean, these weren't nice little breaks at all. I mean, this broke out 1, 2, 3, 4. Above 5 resistance levels. And I mean, I wasn't even looking at it to kind of plot out other resistance, but I mean, it broke all-time high. The all-time high previously was 693, and it just completely blew past that 693. I mean, it didn't even slow down when it got to it. But no, this has more of a correction. It really does. I don't think it's going to get back down to that $300 level. I just don't know where it's going to get down to. It all depends on, is it going to start making some of these key resistance or prior key resistance? Is it going to form them as a new support? Right now, it's currently at, the support that I had plotted out previously. And that support was really that 600. And if it broke out above 600, which it did, and as you guys can see too, I mean, it broke out above 600, got up to 775-ish, but then she came back down to 602, 611. I mean, that's a nice drop from 775 to 611, but it maintained that 611 as a new support line, and it broke out again. So, I mean, going forward, it basically has to maintain this 600 as a support line in order for it to hold. If it doesn't hold, then it's possibly that it's going to start breaking these other key prior resistance. It's not going to form them as a new support. And I think, we need to get a little more granular, from this big move that it had to see exactly, where there might be a bigger support. But more than likely, if it breaks that 600 and it completely breaks it to where there is no uptick, then that 500 could be in sight. Oni, what small critters are we sacrificing? I got 3 critters, man. I got 3 that I'm going to sacrifice. One is 7 years old, 3 years old, actually 4 years old. But yeah, my son is interested in checking that out, so we'll be doing that tonight. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this isn't looking too bad at that $600 level. The way these candles are forming, and these are 30 minutes price action, price movement. So for the past, basically, almost 3 hours, it's been maintaining close to that $600 range. It hasn't really just completely bottomed out and crashed through it. So possibly a good sign, but it's too early to tell. It's way too early to tell. Hopefully, nobody that bought a 700 is panicking now and selling everything if they didn't already panic and sell. Yes, BCH was 1,200 on Bittrex. And that's high. That's high for the first day. I think that might have been the first exchange or the only exchange that it broke out above 1,000. I don't think it broke out above 1,000 on any other exchanges. Not even on Kraken, to my understanding. I think it maybe got to 900, 880, something to that extent. Yeah, Stefan, I like that comment, and I do believe in BCH, and I think over long term, nothing that's going to be short term. Over long term, yes, it could pay off, especially if you get a good entry. But I mean, it is another Bitcoin, basically. I mean, really, there isn't much of a difference. It's a baby of Bitcoin, and as long as it gets the support with the community and the miners and the hashing power increases, then yeah, it could do great. What is the buy now? I'm actually still waiting for Iota. I'm still going to be patient with Iota for 75 cents. That's what kids are for sacrifice. Yeah, dude. Exactly. All right, so let's see. BCH did make that new low from its high at 558.16. That 558.16 with 559 was a high right at this candlestick here. Right at that candlestick there before it really kind of moved sideways and then just had a bigger push to the upside. So somebody was playing that level. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line out just to remind me later on. So I would like to see it hold that level and just consolidate sideways. I'm not in this position, but for anybody that's in that position, I would definitely be, just keeping an eye out on that level there to see if it's just going to consolidate sideways or if it's going to have more of a drop. Because I think it's already dropped heavily in comparison to. Let me do the math real quick. $636 is what I would have said, that it would come down to before actually consolidating or correcting. So 636 was kind of the number, if I was looking at this and it was correcting, where I would have probably taken a little bit of a position. But that 600, as long as the 600 holds, then it's still pretty solid in comparison to the move that it made. Yes, it's down, a good amount from its high, but I hope nobody bought it at the high. Somebody did, of course. Whoever sold, whoever was selling had a buyer lined up at that high. OMG going to 10 on Thursday? I don't know. I mean, it had a nice move. And I was looking at OMG on my phone, and would have come down to almost $6 and then made it almost right back up to almost 9, almost a little under 50% return. But it's definitely lagging today. I think people are pulling money out. I mean, it's a high flyer. I mean, it's gone up from basically 30 cents when I saw it all the way up to like 9.75, almost $10. What was it? 9.50, I think it went up to. 9.55, pretty close to $10. Cryptopia, welcome, buddy. Thanks for that comment. Is it BCC or BCH? Yeah, don't get confused, man. BCC, it all depends on what exchange you're on. So if you're on Bitfinex, BCH is Bitcoin Core. I'm sorry, BCH is Bitcoin Cash, and BCC is Bitcoin Core. So you gotta be very careful that you're not confused with that, because I know some exchanges will they can't list it as BCC for Bitcoin Cash because BCC happens to be BitConnect on a different exchange. So be very careful that you're not buying, BitConnect or Bitcoin Core thinking you're buying Bitcoin Cash. But yeah, it all depends on what exchange you're on. All right, let's see. I'm going to get granular on this because I think this might be getting ready to push up to a new level on ETH. It's got to break that 346, I think was a high. 346.99, so we'll say 347. But yeah, it looks like, this might be gearing up for another push. And it seems like, once it starts to really push up, that's when volume really comes in. As we can see from these two candlesticks here, once it starts to really push up and grind up, volume comes in and really has it shooting up. So if that's the case, and this kind of starts to grind up and start getting close to that 340, 345 level, I can see a bigger candlestick, bigger volume coming in and pushing this up, higher to that possibly 365 range. Yeah, I call it BCH as well too. I do. I don't refer to it as BCC or because BCC on here is Bitcoin Core. Good night, sweet prince. Yeah, and it's just not Bitfinex. I would say more in line of Coinbase, GDAX, and Gemini. They sell the top tier coins, the top 3, the top 2. They're very conservative with what they're adding. Stefan, I haven't used that yet, but I know I think some of the guys do use it. And I think last time I heard about it was in beta. You fell asleep after that? Was that 315? Yeah, I fell asleep when big BTC was at like 100. Yeah, you guys you can be absolutely right because I'm sure a lot of people were confused, with Bitcoin Cash, with the ticker symbol, and I mean at one point it really sent Bitcoin Core. It sent it up. I mean, it had a good amount of volume that was coming into it. So I think a lot of people were confused, thinking they were buying Bitcoin Cash when they were actually buying Bitcoin Core. But yeah, this past weekend, I mean, we really didn't have too much of a downtrend like we've seen in the past. This weekend, I mean, it held pretty steady and had a couple cryptocurrencies that really were moving. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm just trying to figure something out real quick with Iota. If I can get my chart to load properly. I think Bitcoin Cash can become more of a player. It definitely can, as long as it has that support. If it doesn't have the support of the miners, with the hashing power, then no, it's not going to go anywhere. And if merchants start accepting Bitcoin Cash, then yes, it'll do great things for it. And that's one thing about Ethereum as well too, or ETH. If merchants will accept ETH, or if BitPay will allow people to utilize their ETH, which would basically allow merchants to accept ETH, then yeah, ETH could easily be at that $500 level. Yeah, miners and merchants, and that's a huge thing for adoption. Then, people will actually buy and hold Ether and actually spend it. I mean, a lot of people spend Bitcoin right now. I mean, they can put it right on their Shift card, or, merchants can have it directly deposited to their bank account. But yeah, as long as they can get merchants accepted, then, people will actually buy it to utilize as a payment instead of just utilizing it for ICOs and utilizing it for trading. Yeah, I think, in the sense of Iota, I think there will be a time when she retests that 70 cents. I think that 70 cents is going to be a very crucial level for it. And that's really, I am interested in Iota. And, as long as I can get a good entry, this would be, not all of it will be long-term hold, but, 50% of it will be long-term hold. But I would have to get an entry at 70 cents. That's really what's kind of piquing my interest. Will I take a break from trading for the clips? I won't be in front of my computer, and I wasn't in front of my computer this past weekend. My son had camp, and then I had to go out, and he's starting soccer. He actually starts soccer tomorrow, so we had to go out and get him outfitted for his soccer camp. But yeah, if I mean, I'll look at it on my phone. I always have Bitfinex on my phone, and actually Bitfinex, unfortunately, it sucks that I got to stop using it. After 90 days, I think was from their announcement. But they really do have a great app, as well as a great iOS, or any mobile web. A lot better than Coinbase for sure. And the reason why, I also canceled my order from last Friday at 90 cents was I didn't like what I was seeing in the order book. There was just, there were really two people that were battling it out with two huge, massive orders. One was a seller with over 100,000, and then a buyer with 100,000. And I didn't want to stick around for that fight to see who was going to win that battle. So, but yeah, usually when there's a big fight that's happening between one buyer and one seller, and nobody caves in, then yeah, it's going to be stagnant for a while. And then one person, removes the order either on the buy side or the sell side, and it gets the price to either move up or move down. But yeah, I mean, on Iota, still buyers are outweighing sellers. at just about every, except 85 cents. At 85 cents, let's see. 85 cents is basically when the sellers are in control at that point. Yeah, ARK. I mean, I didn't want to get out of it. You know, like if I was in front of my computer, I would have stayed in it. And then I would have added at 80 cents. So I would have had a cost average of 85 cents. And then I was looking for that dollar. So basically, I mean, you know, from 90 cents to a dollar, really, I was looking for that 10-cent profit. And if I would have got in an average price of 85 cents, I would have got out at a dollar for a 15-cent profit. That was really the plan. But considering I wasn't in front of my computer watching it, there was no sense of leaving that open order in the book. Because more than likely, you know, I would have had an entry of 90, and then I would have got out at 10. I'm sorry, at a dollar. But having to go from 90 down to 77 cents would have sucked. So 80 cents. 80 cents is a good amount of support. And I just don't know, you know, I really got to think outside the box on this one here with 136 buyers. You know, 136 buyers, only 136,000. Yeah, that's something's going on there. So somebody is really stacking that book. You know, one person could be stacking that book at that specific price at 80 cents. All they'd have to do is just put in multiple orders at 80 cents to make it look like there's tons of buyers that are interested in it at that price. Now, if the actual coins was a lot higher than 137,000, I mean, this should probably be somewhere in the range of, you know, 275, 300,000 coins to have 136 buyers. So, you know, that's telling me, you know, it might, in my experience, that it might not be a good support. Let's see what that 75 cents and then 70 cents looks like. 83 buyers for 283,000. There we go. That's a support that I'm looking for. 75 buyers for 366,000. So that 70 cents, 75 cents is really what looks promising for an entry for me personally. And this 80 cents, 88 cents that it's in, I don't know. The reward is not there. And this thing could easily fall 10 cents. I mean, easily. I mean, I've seen it happen, you know, and 10 cents would put it right from where it turned around at 77, looks like 77 and a half cents is where it basically made a move up from. All right, so let me answer a couple questions, and then the live stream will be ending. Pay card not available to U.S. citizens. Yeah, unfortunately, in the U.S. we get shafted. U.S. will become free financially. I don't know, man. U.S. is in debt. They owe a lot of debt to China. A lot of their debt. All right, this is looking good. You know, this is the type of turnaround that I would want to see. So if you guys are looking at, you know, BCH, and I'm just going to use BCH as an example because it is really tanking. You know, I mean, really, this is the type of pattern that you're looking for, you know, where it has come down and now you can kind of see where it's gradually but surely, you know, grinding up. And that's the type of move that you want to kind of wait for. And that kind of gives me a confirmation that, you know what, okay, things are starting to turn around. Yes, they can be a fake out. You know, that's happened many times before. But in my opinion, I don't think this is a fake out, you know, just the way that the actual pattern is forming. You know, if this would have gone from, you know, 328 bucks and then on one or two candlesticks all the way up to 344, 345, I would have said, you know what, this might be a fake out. But no, I don't firmly believe that this is a fake out here at all. I think this is just kind of gearing up for another push, another run to get up to that 365. So, once this thing really breaks that 346, 347, I mean, we could see it breaking, or getting up to 365. And then, of course, pulling back down. It's going to pull back down to 350 if it has that massive push to 365. But as long as it can sustain it, as long as it can maintain that level of 365 and consolidate, then we're still good. We're still good for a push up to $400. Good comment, Oni. I like that. Worrying about the issues of bathrooms and status or statues. I'm sorry, statues. Yes. Yeah, a lot of crazy things happening in the U.S., unfortunately. Cryptos can help manipulated markets become free again, but we got to remember the cryptocurrency market's also manipulated. I mean, you can't really avoid it, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter what you're trading. It can all be manipulated easily. And the cryptocurrency market, I think, is probably one of the easiest manipulated markets. It's very thinly traded. Market cap, what did market cap get up to? I don't even think it broke out above 150 billion, did it? Yeah, it's about time Ripple kind of fell to fourth place. Now we just need Litecoin, to overtake Ripple, but Litecoin would have to get up to, even if it gets up to 100, it's only $5.2 billion in market cap. So yeah, Ripple would have to go down to, 11 cents, 10 cents, and have Litecoin get up to $100 to completely overtake Ripple in the sense of market cap and have a dominance of, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin being the four dominating factors. But yeah, 145 billion. So, 145 billion is, like I've said before, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in the sense of, when you're dealing with whales and when you're dealing with people that, have a deep pocketbook, they can easily manipulate this thinly traded market. And this is a very thin market with 145 billion. It hasn't gotten to the level that it should definitely be at yet. Over years and years and years to come. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a lot higher, but currently right now, this market can easily be manipulated. Yeah, only taking the power back from the banks, from the system that they've created. Yeah, dude, I like that. And cryptocurrency will get us, out of, what the government and the financial institutions have made us to believe over years and years and years. But yeah, I mean, cryptocurrency market, I mean, we're still early adopters. We really are. And it's only going to get better as time goes on. Yes, margin would have to be, well, not necessarily. Somebody with a deep pocketbook doesn't necessarily need margin. Somebody that has $30 million in a bank account, $40 million, on an exchange, doesn't need margin. Him and a bunch of his friends with the same exact amount of money on, a couple of different exchanges can control that exchange. They easily can. So you don't necessarily need margin to do it, as long as you have the capital to do it. But margin definitely helps out. It definitely does. All right. That is still not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad at all. Yeah, and as long as it maintains the same trend and just continuously grinds up, this is looking healthy. But we can't have a parabolic move. I mean, having one or two or three parabolic moves is only going to send it back down. People are going to take profits. They're going to be happy with it. But I think she's done. Retesting below $300. I think that's completely out now. To be honest with you, I could be wrong. But this break above that 300 was very, very significant, and it needed to do that. I mean, even though it's a $46 break above that 300, it's still a very sizable gain for Ether, which we have not seen it in a while. So I do not personally see it retesting, under $300, unless something crazy, something major happens, and major hack happens. That's the only way that I think she will get back down to 300 or below $300. When will it break all-time high? Man, I mean, it could easily do it at any point, at any time. Having these massive $50 runs could easily send it up. I wouldn't be surprised, if it maintains this type of move and the news that's coming out is good. I wouldn't be surprised before this weekend, if it peaks out at 420. I think that was all-time high on Bitfinex. I don't see why not. As long as this move is just sustained, it has to sustain this move. It can't be a BCH type of move and then coming right back down from 975 all the way down to 585, basically the current price that it's at, almost $300. I'm sorry, $400. That is down. Yeah, if it's that type of move, then yeah, it's a pure manipulation. But as long as it's not that type of move, I don't know why I'm in Iota. I should be an F. But yeah, as long as it can maintain this move and just consolidate and have a nice push, consolidate a nice push, that's what really F has been lacking, the past several weeks, really. It's just maintaining a nice break above the resistance and maintaining that trend above it. It had a hard time. I mean, it would break out above 3 and then come right back below it. Break out above 3, come right back down below it. And I think we saw that way, way too many times. But I think this is the biggest break that we've had above the $300 range. And there's that 319 right up here that it had to break out above it. So yeah, this is going to be a very sustained move up to the upside. And I think this is exactly what it needed. It needed that clear confirmation, clear break, and break out of it with a vengeance above that 300. And I'm trying to look at the chart to see at any point, did we have a crazy break where it didn't really come right back down? I mean, here was a nice break, but yeah, she gave it all back. Yeah, so I can see this thing doing, I mean, we did the 1 pump, consolidate, 2 pump, retracement. This is gearing up for that 3rd possible pump to that 365, and it just has to maintain that 365. And I think she will, with the positive news that's coming out. I think she'll maintain that 365 and hopefully just consolidate sideways. I would rather have that sideways movement any time of the day than anything else, because the longer that she's consolidating sideways, the bigger the push is going to be to the upside. unless people are going to buy the rumor and then sell the news. And then she could really have a pump. I mean, $100, for this thing to go up, 33%, $100, that's nothing, a little over $100 basically. So we'll see by this weekend, by Friday, if this thing will break above the 420. And I firmly believe she will, with this type of move that we're having. And she's above that bullish, resistance, getting ready to possibly break out above the very bullish resistance. And as long as she can break out above that very bullish resistance and maintain that 365, man, this is going to be a beautiful looking chart. And something I can probably stare at day in, day out. Honestly, this is kind of embedded into my head anyway, since I spent a good amount of time looking at this thing. The support and resistance are basically embedded. So if she does decide to drop and I'm not in front of my computer, I mean, I can easily place a trade on GDAX. I don't need to actually have this chart to say, okay, you know what? These are the resistance. This is possibly where it's going to come down to. I already basically have it embedded into my head that, where the key resistance points are and the key supports are. We're getting them, Ark. We're definitely getting them. I mean, this is a 12-hour chart. So let's even look at something a little more granular. Let's even go 1-hour chart, because 3-hour chart looks too good. Yeah, and I mean, this current candlestick currently right now is at its high. It's not breaking down at all. It opened up, just basically at the closing price of the previous candle, and it has not really broken below it. That low, let's see, what was the low? 337.04 was the low. 337.20 was the opening price. So, I mean, it did basically just a couple pennies. So, I mean, the push is going to happen. It's just a matter of, is it going to be supported? And right now, by the looks of the order book, not so much. 2,600, 2,500 on the sell side versus 1,000 on the buy side. And that's usually, the top 15 buyers and sellers. Yeah, exactly, Oni. If you are new, I don't recommend really trading. Become a long-term investor. And then basically just use a little bit of your capital if you want to trade. But yeah, become a long-term investor in some of these coins that, especially when they have a retracement, especially if you've been sitting on the sideline with the account open, with the account funded, and you're looking for an opportunity to get in. You want to wait on a retracement, on a correction, whether it's a minor correction or a very violent correction. We've seen those violent corrections happen. That's the time to really get in. Yeah, you're exactly right, man. New traders will make more money holding. And that's why I said, become an investor. Don't trade. Maybe just trade a little bit of your funds. But yeah, don't trade it all, because more than likely you're just gonna end up giving it to an experienced trader. But yeah, I mean, if you end up, finding a great entry, a great price to get in on your favorite, cryptocurrency that has a solid foundation, yeah, then just grab some popcorn and grab some beer and just watch it grow. Yeah, Monero definitely had a nice pop. It definitely did. But hey, I want to thank everybody for being on this live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for commenting and keeping this very interactive. Thank you for the likes. And if you're a new time viewer, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification, and stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And I do have to end this live stream until Wednesday. Have a great day. Protect those profits. Find a great entry. That's really what I would recommend, is really analyze that order book, analyze the cryptocurrency that you're interested in, find out where the support and the resistance are. And if you plan on holding long term, don't get panicked. Don't panic out. Don't get shaken out of your trade. Hold it long term if that is your plan, especially if you're in a cryptocurrency that has the ability to dominate later on, and those are going to be, something that some that are in the top 20, I would say are gonna survive, and they're gonna be there forever. A lot of the other cryptocurrencies might not survive at all. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I do appreciate it. Oni, thank you so much. I appreciate your presence on this. It's very helpful. Stefan, Michael, welcome. Zcash, yeah, dude. I wanted to cover Zcash, but maybe I'll have to save that for Wednesday. But I appreciate everybody that's on this live stream. Thank you so much. I want you guys to enjoy your day, be safe, and we'll talk soon.